welcome to the White Light Lounge, your high vibe space to hang out with your highest self. Every time you are here, you will experience a new opportunity to dive even deeper into your spirituality, personal growth and healing, and relationship with yourself. Every single episode, I'll bring in a special guest to share their insight on topics like wellness, mindfulness, self-care, and so much more. So grab your kombucha, sit back, and let the good vibes soar. Welcome to today's video. I am so excited that you are here because I have a very special guest with me, my dear friend Meeta. She is a fellow holistic health and wellness coach, and she is going to be doing some super fun stuff with us today. We're going to be learning all about tapping or EFT, and Meeta is the EFT queen. I wanted to be able to bring her in today to share with us what tapping is, how we can use it in our everyday lives, and maybe even taking us through a little bit of a guided exercise at the end. So welcome, my love. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
I am so excited. So happy that we get to have this time together because first and foremost, like, I just love you so much, obviously. And and I'm so excited to share this video and share you today because you are just such a wonderful human being. You really are. And you are so gifted, so talented when it comes to all things tapping, EFT, and I knew that I had to come to you directly to take us all through this. So I first heard of tapping back when I read The Universe Has Your Back by Gabby Bernstein. She was like kind of my original source of even like hearing what this was about. And so I like first got some exposure to it that way, and she had some exercises in the book. And of course, I was so curious about it. I mean, it's an awesome healing modality and something that I think that we don't understand how powerful it actually is until we're doing it. So would love for you to just kind of take us through like kind of what tapping is and we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah. So, I mean, just a little bit of like background on me, first of all.
Yeah.
I'm a health coach, just like you are.
Yeah.
I've always been into health and wellness, and like with everybody else, through your own struggles, you kind of dive deeper into the world of holistic health. My interest kind of led me to just brain and gut health, and through some injuries of my own, I just wanted to learn a little bit more about, how I can do more for my brain. And I was finding that, as a health coach, I'm very dialed in with my diet and very dialed in with my lifestyle. And it was just something that just wasn't like moving the needle for me.
Yeah.
And so EFT was brought into my life and has changed my life for the better. And EFT essentially is probably one of the most quickest, easiest, powerful tools to relieve stress with your fingertips. I mean, it's that easy. People think it's a little bit woo-woo, and
that's okay. They're in the right space.
There is science behind it, but in a nutshell, it's a beautiful blend of psychology and energy medicine. So for those of you that don't know what EFT is, it stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, and it runs on the idea that our body is made up of energy. And with that energy, when we have a block within our energy system and we're not kind of flowing freely, that will manifest itself in some form of a stress, whether that's a physical stress or whether that's a mental stress, be it pain, be it anxiety, be it negative emotions. That is how it will show up. Now, we've all felt that, when you're in that kind of fight or flight stress response within your body, and you have either pain or you have that anxiety, your amygdala in your brain is a little fire alarm that is firing, telling your body that it's in danger. And again, when that happens, there's another part of your brain. So there is actually science behind this. It's not just woo-woo, but another part of your brain just kind of stops the clarity, stops the decision making. And we've all felt that. You're stressed, you're flustered, you don't know what you're doing, you've got this brain fog. Where do I go? Where do I start? You just can't think clearly. And so how do we do that? How do we clear that? How do we feel calm? We tap. And it's that easy. We tap on specific meridian points on our face, and those meridian points are related to acupuncture. And by tapping on these points, you are freeing up that energy to flow freely. And by doing that, you're sending signals to your brain to just calm the hell down. And basically, in a nutshell, that's kind of it. It's incredibly powerful. Within a matter of minutes, you can go from feeling super anxious, super stressed. It works great for pain as well, to just, feeling very, very calm. And, again, people can be very skeptical with it because you are tapping points on your face and around your body. And it's like, really, is this making a difference? But there's been so much science and so much research that's been done to back EFT. Like people that learn EFT, people that work with people just kind of want to shout it from the rooftops. So there's big numbers. Like an hour worth of EFT can bring your anxiety levels down by 40%. It can increase your happiness by 31%. And that's just 1 hour. Mm-hmm. So if you just did a couple of rounds, you just did 5 minutes of tapping, you can really start seeing some shifts. So I think it's powerful. I'm a mum of 2 girls. I use it on my kids. Kids are even better because they seem to move through very, very quickly, and they are calm within minutes. So it's very versatile. You can do it everywhere. It doesn't cost you anything. No needles. I'll stop talking.
No, I love it. And I'm glad that you brought that up because that's something that I feel like today, and especially as someone who, I teach breath work and meditation and these techniques that, that allow us to just use our bodies, which I think is just so, so beautiful and so fascinating. And it really shows us a few things. One, we don't need anything outside of ourselves to have a really powerful shift or a transformation. And 2, it just shows us how powerful our bodies truly are. And I think that, we're used to, I need this program or I need this thing outside of me. And there are so many healing modalities, EFT especially, that really shows us that we all get to kind of shift and change whatever we're feeling by ourselves, through ourselves. I think that's so, so powerful. And also just having gone through, 6 weeks worth of EFT sessions with you, which have been just so, so magical and so life-changing for me personally, being able to really process and heal things that I didn't even know, that I hung on to or carried or that were still affecting me on a really deeply emotional level. And so just being able to have this as an outlet to process, things that maybe I need to work through still, or I need to heal in a really safe and healthy way.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I would totally agree with that. And the great thing about EFT is that we forget how powerful our subconscious minds are. Yeah. And how much gets stored in our subconscious. So memories and experiences from when we were young children just get stored in. And whether they're right or wrong, those are beliefs that we carry around with us. And we behave and we act in the way we do today in the world because of those experiences. Yep. And I'll give you an example. Like, I worked with somebody recently and she had this fear of public speaking, just this real, like, just could not do it. And she would try and get out of it. She would just get herself in such a mess. We tapped on it, and at that point, it was just something that she'd always had. I don't like public speaking. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to, I'll make myself ill. And she used to get ill. She'd be that stressed. We're kind of like, okay, let's just tap on this. And so we started just tapping on, I'm scared of public speaking, and that was kind of, but the great thing about tapping is it's like peeling the layers of an onion, So it was like, okay, so you don't like public speaking. Why? Was there an experience that you had? And it turned out that she was doing a all about me presentation when she must have been about 8 or something, between the ages of 6 and 8. And somebody had said something to her in the class, a young boy, to tell her that her presentation just wasn't great. Used other words. So, and that came up, and that brought with it so many emotions, just so much resentment for that boy. I mean, so much emotion came up. We tapped through it. And unbelievably, she then texted me afterwards to say that it wasn't quite a public speaking, but she'd really challenged herself to speak up in an environment around other people that she would never normally do as a result of that experience. So it's things like that we hold in our subconscious, be it traumas, be it accidents, it could be anything, even just the slightest thing that one of your parents has said to you, or a sibling, where your brain has just said, I don't feel safe doing that. I'm not going to do it, and that is the power of EFT, which, allows you to kind of bring those emotions to the surface safely, very, very safely, and tap through them and move them through very, very quickly. So you can do tapping on your own, absolutely. If you do have something like, a trauma that you want to work on, then I would definitely recommend working with a practitioner.
Sure.
But certainly with everyday stress, tapping is an excellent, excellent tool to have in your toolbox.
Beautiful. And speaking of stress, which I feel like is obviously something that we're all experiencing right now, having to be home and quarantine and all the things with COVID-19 going on. But knowing that once, life returns to normal, whatever normal is, but once we kind of move past this, move out of this, we're still going to experience stress in our life. That's life. You know what I mean? And so I would love to be able to just kind of like walk through maybe some tapping techniques that people can start to utilize when they are experiencing states of stress, knowing that stress isn't going anywhere. And stress isn't something that we need to be, scared of or fearful of or anything like that, or trying to avoid, because that's not possible. But it's how we respond to the things that stress us out is really where our power is. So anything that you'd love to share there,
I'll take you through some of the points. But just before we start, just to your point on the stress, I think it's, we get stressed and we react in a certain way. Yes. It's very true that we need to learn how to respond to it and just understand, just take a step back and say, I just yelled at my kids, which I did yesterday. And I was like, why did I do that? What am I stressed about? I think it's just coming within and knowing that you have control, even though you feel out of control. You can take control. And I say this to my girls all the time when they're having a moment. I'm like, take control of your body. You know exactly what you need to do to take control. And yes, you are feeling like this, but yes, it will go away, So EFT is great for that. Let's take you through some of the tapping points. Cool. And maybe we can do like a little mini tapping round for your listeners and viewers, and maybe help them shift some of their stress levels.
Beautiful.
Okay.
All right.
I'll take you through. Maybe you can kind of do the points with me to begin with. So there's 9 point, I mean, there's several points, several meridian points throughout the body. I'm going to take you through the basic 9 today, which is the basic recipe. So if you were going to see any videos online, this is the kind of the points that they would use. Great. So there's 9 of them. The first one that we always start off with is the karate chop point. So it's the side of the hand over here, and you want to tap on this kind of this meaty part of your hand at the back of your hand here, on the side of your hand here. And you can either tap using 2 fingers, 3 fingers, the whole hand. The great thing about tapping is you can't get it wrong. I mean, I talk to people all the time and they're like, am I doing it right? How many times should I be tapping? You know, and it's an average. And again, I hate to give a number because there's not really a right or wrong, but it's an average of about 5 to 8 taps per point. But you don't want to be tapping going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, like this. No, you're going to stress yourself out and it defeats the whole purpose of doing it. So this is the side, this is called the karate chop. Then we move to the eyebrow point, which is just where your eyebrow begins over here. And again, I like to, and some people like to do 2 hands. Some people just prefer 1. You know, some people like to be even on both sides. It makes no difference which one you do. Then there's the side of the eye, which is where the eyebrow ends, kind of your temple area over here. Then we've got under the eye, and you'll feel the little bone as you tap under the eye. Yep. Then the next one is under the nose or upper lip area. Next point is chin, so underneath that kind of crease that you have in between underneath your lips and above your chin. Then the next one is your collarbone. So if we come down to the middle of your neck, the bottom of your neck in the middle, and you want to come down an inch and across. And you want to tap on those points there. And generally with this one, I like to, I'm just going to adjust my camera. Generally with this one, I like to use both of my hands. I feel like it's quite, you tend to kind of shift and move a lot of energy through with both hands. Then the next one is under the arm, which is like a kind of a hand width under the arm, or the bra line for women. So you tap there, and then the last one, if this couldn't get any weirder, is the top of the head, and you are just tapping kind of in the middle. You know, some people like to kind of rotate as they're tapping, which looks even sillier, but you know, I just like to stick to one spot. And that is the basic recipe for tapping. So while we're doing that, we'll, you know, you would check in with your body before you start, have a check in with your body to see how you're feeling. Before we do any kind of tapping round, I will just say to the viewers that if we're tapping and any emotions or feelings come up, the most important thing to do is to keep tapping. So if there's any tears, any strong emotions, we need to let them come to the surface and feel them and know that it's okay. And we're just going to keep tapping through, and that will move that energy through, and hopefully by the end you should be feeling calmer.
Yes. And I can vouch firsthand how powerful it is. I think in every single session that we had together, I definitely got emotional. There were a few tears.
Yeah.
But it was so liberating to really just be with that, but also to continue to kind of tap and move through all of that. So it's really powerful.
Yeah. And even with the emotions, I mean, it's very common for people to start laughing, because that's another way of releasing the emotion. And even yawning, you know, I've tapped with, I say that to a lot of my clients, like, I know you're not bored. I know you're just moving the energy through. You're not being rude, and I'm not offended. You know, sometimes I yawn when I'm tapping with others, and clearly I need to move some energy through that I didn't know I had. So, those are just kind of different ways in which your body may release that energy. So just roll with it, and we'll do a few rounds, and we'll do a generic kind of stress relief, and see where we go.
Cool. All right, I'm going to put myself on mute so that my mic doesn't try to pick up my background noise.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we're going to tap on just some general stress relief. So before we begin, I want you to just close your eyes and think about your stress at the moment. If you have any stress, what your stress levels may be. And I want you to, on a scale of 1 to 10, just give yourself a score. 10 being I'm super, super stressed. 0 to 1 being actually I don't feel any stress at all. So just give yourself a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. And just have that number in the back of your head. Just, if people are watching, you may want to maybe write it down. Just keep that on the back of your head, and just pay attention and tune into your body to see if you have any sensations or any pain. Sometimes we feel stress in the chest area, or butterflies in the stomach, or the neck, shoulders. Just pay attention to any weird sensations, anything unusual. And again, no judgment, just noticing at this point. So before we begin, I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath in, hold for just a couple seconds, and then we're going to breathe out through our mouth. And then we're going to open our eyes, and we're going to begin tapping. We're going to start off with the karate chop point here. And I want you to just follow my lead and say what I'm saying either out loud or in your head. Even though I'm feeling so stressed at the moment, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I feel so anxious in my body, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I feel out of control and overwhelmed, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. And I forgive anybody else to do with this emotion. I'm stressed. I'm stressed. I know I'm stressed. I can feel it in my body. I feel out of control. I feel overwhelmed. There's too many things to do. There's too many things to think about. I literally don't know where to begin. I'm stressed. So stressed. My list is overflowing. My head is racing. I can't even sleep sometimes. I'm just generally restless and overwhelmed. Releasing this overwhelm in my body. Releasing this stress in my body. Releasing this overwhelm. Releasing this stress. Releasing this stress. And I'm going to keep tapping through the points here, and I want you to just follow along with me. Now, ideally, I'd have you closing your eyes, but that's going to be a little bit difficult for people that are watching along. So with your eyes open, just pay attention to where you think that stress may be coming from. May it be a certain incident that happened, a conversation, a phone call. Just think about where that stress is underlying and where it's coming from as we just tap through the points. It could be something that happened today, yesterday, could be something work related. But right now, as we're tapping and we're calming our body down, your subconscious may well just throw something at you that may be a bit like, oh, I didn't even know that was bothering me. So just see what comes up as we're tapping through, and we'll do a few more rounds. I'm feeling stressed. I'm feeling stressed. Releasing this feeling in my body. Releasing this emotion in my body. Whether it's fear or anxiety, sadness or frustration, anger, releasing all of these emotions from my body now. Telling my body that it's safe to relax. Telling my body that I'm safe right now. Releasing any anxiety that I have about my future. Releasing any fears that no longer serve me. Releasing the stress from every cell of my body. Releasing the stress from every cell in my body. I'm safe. I'm calm. I'm safe. I'm calm. We're going to go to this point here. These are my words, and I have spoken. These are my words, and I have spoken. And then just place your hand on your heart area. Take a nice deep breath in. Hold for a couple seconds and exhale through your mouth. When you're ready, open your eyes. And that, my friends, is a small taster of EFT. And just before we end that, I just want you to check in with how you were feeling beforehand and how you're feeling now. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you now? What is your number? And if there were any sensations that came up, then how do they feel now? Do they feel any lighter? Do you feel clearer in your head? Just pay attention.
Ooh. That was powerful. I didn't even think that I necessarily had anything coming in.
Yeah.
And I noticed that there were just like little things throughout the past couple of weeks that maybe have kind of latched on or kind of gotten a little hook in me.
Yeah.
That
they come up for you.
Yeah. And now they're gone.
Yeah. And that's the lovely thing is that, you know, although that was a very generic round, you know, for some people, you know, just being in a stressful state may take them back to a childhood experience, may take them straight to a trauma, which is why I say, you know, anything can come up, you know. But yeah, it's nice because your subconscious will throw those little things at you, and hopefully you felt a reduction in your stress levels and your numbers came down. You know, we ideally want to try through a complete session, we try and get you to a 0 or as close as we can. But if your number came down, then what I would say to people is just keep tapping. You know, you can do this yourself. It's available to you. You can do this at home. Now there are 9 points, and you know, if people don't remember those 9 points, this point here I feel is particularly powerful, the collarbone point here. And a lot of the time what I say to my clients is you could just tap on this point. You don't need to have a script like what we just went through. You can literally, I call it tap and rant, because you could just be like, oh my God, I'm so stressed, and literally just rant like you would to your best friend and just let it all come out. And again, you know, the same advice in that if it's, you know, if you've got strong feelings, strong emotions, just keep tapping, because you will not believe how in a matter of minutes you're like, oh, I'm not that stressed about it anymore, you know, like I don't feel that anxious about it. So it will just help move that stuck energy that we talked about through.
Yes. And I have taken that away from our sessions too. Some of the things that you and I got to work on together in my own life, there were definitely situations in between our sessions that were trigger points for me. And like you had shown me to just remove myself from the situation and just tap right here. And it is seriously so powerful and like potent. Like it happens like in minutes.
Yeah. It's
wild.
Great. I do. Again, like tapping, I can't go on enough about how effective it is. And it's just, it's pain free, literally at your fingertips. So I would just urge anyone who's feeling a little bit skeptical to give it a go. But also, I just want to say that, it's like we brush our teeth, like we have our morning routines. Tapping is something, if you can incorporate it into your daily routine, it's amazing to just kind of clear anything that you've got going on. So one of the ways that I use it is in the way of affirmations. So when you wake up in the morning, and again, you can use the same point or you can tap around, and if you forget some of those points, that's also fine. That's the lovely thing about tapping, is you really can't get it wrong. But some of the affirmations I like to use, and you can use whatever kind of is meaningful to you, but I always like that I choose to. So for me, it looks something like, I choose to be happy, I choose to feel safe in my body, I choose to be healthy, and I choose to have a good day. And that's, and I choose to be calm. And just, you can just say a couple of things and just keep saying them, just keep repeating them for about a minute. I do them when I'm sitting up in my bed. But literally, I haven't even got out of bed at this point. It's the first thing I do when I wake up. And it is just, it's like that little shot of coffee, or, that little shot of caffeine that people need to kind of get them up and going. For me, it's tapping. So I would just urge anyone to give it a try, see how it goes. It's powerful stuff.
It really is.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This was so fascinating, so fun. I love learning from you, like always, always, always. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so my name on Instagram handle is Naturally Nourished with Meeta. You can find me on Instagram. I have a Facebook group. My website is the same, naturallynourished.com. Find me, let me know if there's anything that I can help with, and keep tapping.
Yes. And please feel free to leave a comment below if you did the tapping exercise today. Let us know kind of what number you started with, what you're at now, and what you're able to work through.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, my love. You are such an angel. I am so, so, so proud of all the work that you are doing, especially with EFT. So thank you for sharing your wonderful gifts with all of us. You are so appreciated.
Thank you. And the same goes to you too. You're doing so much great stuff in this world, helping so many people. So it's an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. All right, you guys, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for stopping by.